So now for our automated agency, let's continue building our growth hacking army of AI workers. This time we will build Scrappy, the scraper, for Google Maps. It's a very simple n8n automation. We want to scrape the data to get new possible customers and have them imported to our CRM. We could use Apify and scrape the info, paying $7 per 1,000 searches, but I will show you how to do it for free and use it on a free CRM, another worker on our growth hacking automation tools. Alright, so we are using this Google Map scraper from XGeno. Clone the scraper and done a little bit of modifications. So let's run it first of all. So we go to this generate keywords.py and let's edit it. In this case, let's say Australia, Double Bay, Cronulla, Manly, and we're going to look for nail salon, nails, hair, hairdresser, and beauty. So we run that. Let's start the Python environment. It generated some keywords. Note that it's an automated browser that will take all these points and scrape them. So let's run the Python scraper. We see that it opens the browser and starts looking in all the different keyword locations automatically. This could be headless, so you don't need to see it, but it's just kind of interesting to see how it scrapes all the locations. So let's go to the data folder and see the data CSV. Here is the scrape data for the places. Let's see that on an Excel sheet to visualize it better. It returns some things for the business there, and it got the websites. We could later with the agent take the website and see some more interesting things. We have the phone number, we have the location, and later the agent can search more if we need to. Now that we know that the Python scraper works, let's expose it as an API with Flask. Alright, we have this prompt for the agent, generate a new file that exposes the REST API with Flask, and we want to generate the keywords first with a post, and when the keywords are generated, we run the scraper. When the scraper is done, we call a webhook that will be triggering our n8n workflow to process those files. So let's go ahead and say to Claude to execute that. So we're going to call our API endpoint now for scraping, and we're going to say these new keywords. Let's delete all the data that we have previous. So let's call it from Postman and see what happens. In Postman we have the scrape endpoint, the body with the location that we want to scrape. Excellent, that opened the browser and is generating the searches automated. Now we have the prompt. We are going to ask Claude to go and have the Google Maps scraper called with an HTTP request node, and when it's done we're going to call the webhook that is another trigger. Let's test our new workflow. Cool, and let's just activate it and let's just run it again. Alright, waiting for trigger event. We go to the website. Let's select a country, a location, suburb, and let's say nail salon. Start scraping. It opens the browser with the designated places. Okay, Scrappy done scraping, and if we check Here on data CSV, we have our information for the nail places with the website, the phone number, and some info about reviews count. Cool. So next step is to add this to our CRM. To add it to the CRM as a new opportunity so we can work with this lead, we're going to add it to this client list here. So we just do a call these people and we create this user Chonto. We can see it here, Chonto. Okay, so now let's create it via API when the scraping is done. Let's add everything to Git now that we are winning. Alright, so I have the prompt ready for Claude to take our scrape data and then call the post to our CRM, to our 20 CRM. So it passes the correct body and then from the response take the ID and use that ID to create the person of contact for our lead. Alright, let's go ahead and execute that so we generate our companies and people for our leads. Alright, we ended up with the simplest workflow ever. This is just a workflow that when we start the trigger, it will show our lead form. So let's activate this and execute it. Alright, it generates this form. Let's refresh it. Now here for our test, let's delete this data CSV. Okay, there's no data CSV anymore, and let's fill up our form. So we say Australia, Bondi, nail salon. Also, let's look at our CRM. So we have these people, these companies, opportunities. That's the leads. Alright, so let's create some leads for Australia Bondi Nail Salon. Let's start the scraping. It opens Google Maps and starts scraping nail salon places. Alright, let's see what is it doing here in the background. Cool, is going through some places, scraping complete. Now let's check here on people. There is some people created, companies, and on opportunities. We see these opportunities. So now we have these leads and we can start screening them and see if they're qualified to do a discovery call and the rest of the process for our user journey. Join my school community. I give you the complete Python code, Flask setup, n8n templates, everything, plus a community for questions and support. Don't have time? Want it done for you? I work with businesses to modernize their operations with AI. I can build a custom AI workforce for your specific needs. Fill out the contact form in the description. Let's talk about automating your business.